Damn, Bungie, you are cold. I mean, this is just cruel and unusual punishments to do this today, of all days. I mean, just what kind of sick, twisted mother do you have over there who thought, you know what, let's release an actual ornament for an exotic chess piece that is getting nerfed into the ground today? Oh, don't get me wrong, I get it, I really do. Starfire Protocol has ruled the sandbox for many seasons. It needed to get reined in. But not only was it brutally destroyed, it finally gets an ornament on the same day? Whew, oh, walk it off, Talon, walk it off. Sorry, had to get that out of my system. Welcome to the Season of the Deep, Season 21 for our favorite addictive game, Destiny 2, that we all love to hate. You know we all have a hate-love relationship with this thing. We all know it, just admit it. Plus, it would not be a new Destiny season without multiple cosmetics thrown onto the screen for us, laggy spots in the game, and of course, crazy prices in the Eververse store. Part of that is definitely because of the Sony collab, but I mean, that explains the prices too. But there are some good things that came with this season as well. Remember, you don't have to actually buy the cosmetics. Vote with your wallet, folks. Vote with your wallet. If their bottom line is hurt, then guess what? They will make changes. Anyway, you all seem to enjoy our guides for Destiny, so we thought that while we finish up some Tears of the Kingdom stuff for advanced beginner guides and everything, let's quickly go over everything from this season of the Deep. What's going on, everyone? Talon here, 59 Direct, and subscribe to the channel so the team and I can go to USJ. We'd love to take them sometime. If you enjoy these guide style videos, a like and a comment would help us a ton, plus it would help us please the almighty algorithm. If you dislike the video, we encourage you to leave a dislike and comment down below how we can improve our videos. All right, let's get to it. Now, based on your feedback from our armor guide video we made, this video will first cover this week's story mission / details and all of that stuff. If you wish to skip this, go ahead to the timestamp on screen right now. That will start all of the guides and bits and changes to farming, new weapons, exotics, and more, okay? If you like to focus on this stuff, then you can stick around here. If not, you can simply skip down to the timestamp and boom, right into all the good stuff that you want to see. All right, let's get started. When starting this season, we get introduced to a cutscene where we see the Guardians are trying to get through the portal thing in the Traveler. Yeah, we still don't know what that thing is, but things don't go too well. I mean, damn, that poor Titan right there. Before the cutscene ends, we found out that Titan, an old location from Vanilla Destiny 2, is back, and we need to go there to rescue Sloan, the commander NPC from Titan. The entire planet's not back, just through this public event that we get to do for this next season. I don't know if it'll be there afterwards, but we'll have to wait and see. Don't worry, if you did not play back in the day, just like the other areas, the Witness simply came in and made this area disappear. That's the in-game logic. Out-of-game logic, it went into the Destiny content vaults, so you didn't miss much, unfortunately. When you land in this area, it's a simple go to this checkpoint, kill some enemies, and then find Sloan. That's basically it. There is one section where you have to silence 3 war totems. To do this, simply stand underneath them until the bar hits 100%. While there, these totems neutralize your ability, so the moment you use them, you cannot recover them until after the 100% bar hits. After the third one, a boss will appear. Now, when the boss appeared, the totem was still there singing for me personally on screen, so I'm not sure if this was a glitch, but just know that you need to take that boss's health down to about 20%-ish, then he'll disappear, and then your abilities will return to you. Throughout this entire encounter, a voice is going to be screaming though. You're going to see text on the screen, and it's all but confirming to be Xivu Arath. Time will tell on this, however, though. Next, you'll come to the communication array where you have to align the satellites. After you restore the power, there will be 4 relays where you need to align the dishes. Now, don't just simply interact with each relay once. You need the moving sonar bit to move to the cone shape on the mini screen. Basically, just make sure it looks like this currently on screen on all 4 satellites. After this, continue on until you reach the water section where you almost die, get rescued, then attempt it again. You need to go through the bubbles to reset the pressure resistance bar on the left side of the screen. Also, you can't double jump, and it seems like mantling is not an option here. Holding down the jump button though does give it a little bit of a longer jump if you happen to miss a particular platform. And don't worry, there's no combat underwater here. Would have been kind of cool to see, but this is Destiny, so I didn't personally expect it. After finding Commander Sloan and seeing a giant yet pretty cool looking fish creature thing, you can go back to the helm where you're going to begin the usual seasonal stuff that we are used to. Completing bounties, getting engrams, farming for weapons, which we'll get into a minute and more down below. However, there are some decent changes from the previous season. Bungie made a statement about seasons last year and how when they make changes based on feedback, it takes a few months because these seasons are made months in advance. So season 20 from last year was most likely made sometime back in like December or November, most likely. So that's why those changes, even though they say, hey, we hear you, because that's why they don't happen this time around. So, what's so different? Well, there is a lot, so we're going to cover the important stuff. Anything we leave out will be linked down below on the official Bungie page, which includes patch notes and everything from weapon details and everything like that. So, let's get into it. First up, let's start with a huge change. Exotic armor focusing. Yes, we can finally target focus exotic armor with Raoul at the tower. You'll actually notice across the entire main game's events like Strikes, PvP, and Gambit, the rewards are actually powerful exotic Engrams now. You can still get your weekly pinnacles too, but now we get exotic Engrams from these once a week. Once you start getting these, you can actually go to Raoul, do not auto decrypt these though, hit back and go to the exotic focus decoding area. Now you can pick via either by DLC or by individual armor. Keep in mind, however, though, the cost for these, they're a little expensive. They're going to cost you at least a kidney. For one exotic piece of armor, it's going to cost you 1 exotic Engram, 30,000 glimmer, and 1 ascended shard. Again, this is if you pick the DLC option. If you decide to pick up a piece of armor, get ready to pay up though. You're going to need that extra kidney right there. This is going to cost you 2 exotic Engrams, 60,000 glimmer, and 3 ascended shards, and 1 exotic cipher, which remember, you can really only get from the season pass and from Xur on weekends. Luckily, however, though, we can hold more than 1 finally. So I guess that's something. Now, here's the thing. Players are reporting stats to be on average mostly. Best I personally got was 65, while on average, I got around 61 to 62. I have heard reports of some people getting 55, which is just, that's garbage right there. Which, if this is your first time trying to get that high stat piece of armor, it's not terrible for something like a 61 or a 62, but usually we want something around a 66 or higher. So, spend if you want to, but remember what you could get. Lost sectors are still a good way to try and go in and farm up exotic armor, but you're at the mercy of RNG like always, and sometimes even those can be low stat numbers. So again, just like with anything with Destiny, it's all RNG. Next change is a small but very important one. If you remember our armor guide video, we started it with an easy way to get high stat armor before being able to go out and farm even higher stat armor. Well, now instead of the war table, it's time to go to the vendor in our personal aquarium in the helm. This gives us even higher stat armor when focusing. Just make sure you've completed the armor focusing mission and boom, you're going to get some pretty good high stat armor. I mean, check out this 65 and 67 roll, and this was without using the ghost mod. So have fun farming. This is an amazing way this season to get some really good high stat armor, unless of course Bungie goes in and tinkles with the numbers a little bit. Who's to say? Continuing on with the farming changes, the Last Wish raid weapons can now be farmed for red borders to craft. If the raid is the feature raid of the week, which just so happens to be this particular week, and sometime in the future during the season, then you can farm one encounter over and over again. Many people are farming the first encounter in Last Wish because it literally drops all of the legendary weapons from the raid. So if you've got a clan, by the way, if you want to join the 5-9 clan, we do raids pretty much every week, then you and your clan can go in and farm up these weapons as fast as you possibly can. It takes like less than a minute or two if you've got a good strategy down, and it's pretty easy to get those red border weapons. In order to get your guaranteed red border weapon like you can do in other raids, you're going to actually need to get a quest from Hawthorne called Oh Deepsight Mine. You simply finish the raid, then return to her and get a pattern progress for 20 spoils. Big side note here, as of May 25th, 2023, you actually get 2 patterns towards the weapon that you pick. Not sure if this is a bug or supposed to be this way, but when you select your weapon, you actually get the pattern to appear on the right side of the screen along with the weapon underneath it that has a red border. So that's how it counts as 2, because you're going to take that red border weapon and say, gimme, 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 and you officially have 2 patterns. And if you've gone through the raid and maybe you've gotten lucky on a particular weapon you like, you could be almost done in 1 run, no problem. If this changes after weekly reset though, or it's patched sometime later on, we will post in a pinned comment down below with any other changes. So just keep that in mind, but get to farming, Guardians. Another change this season is the seasonal challenges for seasonal activities. Gone are the days of having to wait to get armor focusing, weapon focusing, and other perks for the season. Now, you simply have to complete missions and boom, they're yours. So happy about this change personally. Nothing more to say. Moving on. This season also includes 2 events, Deep Dive and Salvage. Salvage is a 6-player match-made event where you can go around killing enemies, stopping bombs, and such until you get to the boss room. Pretty normal stuff for a seasonal activity. It's nothing special. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite, but it's just there. The final boss room does have a mechanic though, where you need to take out enemies with shields, but the only way you can do that is by standing on a platform with a hive symbol that matches the middle symbol in the room. You can't leave the platform to do damage. You need to stand on the plate, Deal damage to the shields, take down the enemies until the boss appears. Once the boss appears though, take him down the same way you've been taking down the other enemies with shields, then you can claim your rewards. Deep Dive, on the other hand, is a 3-player event where you navigate the sea until you get to 2 rooms. One room will be full of enemies where you collect things, defeat enemies, and so on, and the second room is a boss room. Take them down to claim your rewards. Pretty simple stuff. Note, in the first room, you can actually turn it into a quote-unquote hard event. It's not really hard, it just simply says on screen, the enemies became tougher, essentially. If you complete this, however, though, at the very end of the event, you will get an extra chest, which is really cool. Again, this is only in Deep Dive, not in Salvage. In order to do this, however, though, you need to find these spheres that are around the main room, and then interact with them, essentially. However, not just you doing this will start this. You need the entire team to do this, which can be a bit of a pain in the butt if you're not with a fire team that you know and are mics. So, maybe do what I do on screen here, where I'm constantly shooting at my allies, and they come over, and then I tell them to hit it. Again, it's a pain in the butt. Hopefully this gets changed in the future, but until then, start shooting at your own allies, I guess. For those wondering about their leftover engrams from the previous season, don't worry, they are still there. We can simply go over to the war table and you can decode them. Pretty simple stuff, but it's something I wanted to point out real quickly because a lot of people were asking about it. All right, the big one, let's talk weapons. There are 2 sets of weapons with this season if we're not including the Last Wish weapons, because those have been in the game for a while, but they're simply now craftable. So nonetheless, though, it's still a lot of weapons to go through. One set of weapons is craftable, however, one set is not. Deep weapons can be crafted, including the hand cannon, which is just running crazy in PvP. Shocker, I know, a hand cannon doing very well in PvP. God, get original, Bungie. SMG, pulse, shotgun, sniper, and a sword. The other weapons are reckoning weapons. These include a sword, sniper, shotgun, SMG, pulse, and hand cannon. Focusing these costs 2 engrams from the season. While the models look very similar to old weapons, the design of them, at least with the deep weapons, for example, have the taken energy on them, are pretty cool in my opinion. If reused models on guns annoys you, then just note that these don't look like anything special, though in my personal opinion, you can only make an SMG or a hand cannon look so different so many times before you just have to make it like that. I mean, just look at the Ron raid weapons. They're normal guns with these weird growing things on them. That's basically all they are. So I personally don't care about it. As long as the weapons are good and they have unique perks and perk combinations, I'm all for it. One of the best ways I've personally seen to farm these weapons is actually to go through the weekly featured raid, because you get a lot of the engrams for the season during those events. So doing something like Last Wish, where there's a lot of moments in there where you can get these engrams, get you a lot of engrams, you go back to the encoding on the helm, and boom, you try to focus, as long as you've got the missions done, which will allow you to autofocus, and you can try your luck to see if you can get some red border weapons. These also give you keys when you're going through the raid and everything, so you've got a shot at even more red border weapons when you open your chest at the end of the main events, Salvage, and Deep Dive. Again, hope that helps, but RNG is always going to be a bit of a pain, so good luck to everybody. All right, almost done, I promise. Next item on the list is the new exotic centrifuge, the definition of a run and gun weapon. If you want to deep dive into the weapon, I'll leave a link down below for Fallout's video on this, but it's a pretty good ad clear weapon, especially with the catalyst, which you can get from the gunsmith in the tower. This gun is free to all, level 1 if you bought the season pass, and around level 35-ish or so if you're on the free version of the pass. Again, it's pretty normal to get a free exotic every season for everybody, so go wild, get the catalyst done, and hope you enjoy it. There's also a new mission on Neomuna. I'm not sure if this is for season pass holders only or people who bought the DLC, but regardless, there is a new mission on Neomuna called Parting the Veil. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it here for you, but it's simply trying to start to explain what the F the Veil is. Get a cool hand cannon at the end too, which seems pretty good for PvE, so that's something right there. There are also some small changes to Guardian rank. You actually have your rank from the last season. For example, for me, I'm at rank level 9 still technically, but if I don't reach level 9 or further by the end of the season, then I'm going to lose that. So everyone starts back down at 6. Though it has been easier to get back up to those ranks already because the mission progress from things like raids and strikes carry over for the most part. So rank 6 and 7 is mostly just going through the seasonal activities, getting up to like season pass level 30 or so, and then by then you're going to be up to level 8 no problem. So we'll have to see if people like this going forward, but regardless, Guardian rank still means nothing to this day, but nonetheless, it should be pretty easy for you. All right, finally, we have the Season Pass, which includes a new currency for red border weapons and cosmetics. The red border currency is called deepsight harmonizer. You get 3 of these from the free part of the battle pass and 3 of these from the paid part. That is it. You want more? Well, get a time machine because you're going to have to wait until the end of August when the next season starts to get more. So use these sparingly. And last little bit that I mentioned beforehand, if you've been online at all, you've probably seen a lot of people talk about the price increases for the season and the cosmetics. It is more expensive than Bungie claims because they don't actually allow you to buy the exact amount of silver that you need to purchase the season. You actually have to pay more, which then leaves you over some extra silver, which then gets people sometimes enticed to buy more cosmetics and everything. It's a typical business move. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, vote with your wallet. If you want Bungie to stop doing this stuff, then don't buy this stuff. But with the Sony emotes and the armor and everything combination going right there, something tells me it's not going to stop, because guess what? This has been going on for years and years. I know that sounds dread, but it's just the reality of it essentially. So it is what it is. Okay, there we go. Lots covered, but wanted to give you as much information as possible for farms, new changes, and everything in between. For things like nerfs and buffs, make sure you check the link in the Bungie page for all the patch notes. But what do you think now? Do you like the changes to the season and the other changes like exotic farming? What would you change or improve if you don't particularly like something? Tell us all below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, we ask that you leave a like and a sub to the channel, as it helps us out a ton and allows us to make more videos like this to help you going forward. Don't forget, we're also going to have our Tears of the Kingdom videos coming out very soon, so make sure you sub and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of that stuff. Thank you so much to everyone for watching the video, and we hope to see you all in the next one. Johnny.